have the link to download the VM. So if you choose VirtualBox as a virtual machine platform, then pick this one, VirtualBox. Otherwise, pick VMware. So as soon as you click there, what's going to happen is that you're going to download a zip file that then you have to import into, well, it's going to be directly, it's not going to be the ISO file, it's going to be directly the virtual machine. And then, well, then you can choose import that virtual machine into your environment. Remember, because you are downloading a full VM, it's going to take a while, so do it as soon as you can. So if you want, you can start doing it now. But if you already have a Windows machine for testing purposes, then you can use that as well. That's easier. And of course, the same for VirtualBox. All right, so that should be it for virtual environment. And as I said, I'm gonna share the recording, but it's always better if you follow along the training, because then you get to ask questions. So it's not the same if you look at the recording than actively participate on the if you participate in the training actively. Because then you can ask questions. I'm stuck here. I cannot do that. I don't know what's the tool, what is doing. So, but in any case, after that, if you are seeing this recording offline, then you should know that you have the rest of the week to contact me directly, and if you have any questions over what's what, or doing over the training or over anything that we have done during this training, then of course, or the exercises, you can of course ask for technical advice. All right, so let's move on the next tools. So there are, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are several different alternatives that you can use. I'm sure you have here among some of them. In this case, we're gonna use as a debugger, we're gonna use x64 debugger. So what it means is that as soon as you have your VM ready, then you need to go into x64 debugger. You're gonna also copy the link here. It's on the chat, it's on the Zoom chat. And for the people that is seeing this recording offline, you will get also a text file with the list of links that I'm pasting on the Zoom chat. All right, so going to the website, click download. This is an open source debugger. So there are several debuggers that you can use, but x64 is coming from the roots of OllyDBG. OllyDBG, this one. So you can still use, of course. There is also OllyDBG 64. For of course for the different platforms, 32 as 64 bits. But we're gonna use x64 debugger because it's newer. It has some better plugins, more features. It's feature rich, and I think it's more feature proof than OllyDBG. But still, we're gonna use it because it's way simpler than using IDA or Jydra or other debuggers that are more complexity into it. Even though it is quite complex, x64 debugger, I think it is easier to comprehend and to follow or exploit development. It might be that is it might not be the case for other stuff. Just to give you an example, if you do reverse engineering, I would 100% prefer to do it in a tool like Jydra or IDA than in personal. Yeah, that's my personal opinion, of course, than to do it on x64 debugger. And I think it's easier to comprehend and easier to follow. But still, download this tool because in top of this, we're gonna use a plugin that's going to be ERC. So ERC plugin, and you might hear of the alternative that is Mona from the guys, the awesome guys from Corlan. But you're gonna use ERC because it's a plugin fully supported for x64. So here, this is what you need. So of course, installing x64 is just done. I think I missed that. Let me quickly go to that part. So click download, and then pick the one that is for your platform. So here, download the latest version. Of course, it's going to be Windows only. Pick the latest one here. So as soon as you get that one, then just follow along the installer, next, and then you will get at the end of it, you will get these two icons in your VM. Again, if you have it already, then you can skip that part if you have it already installed. Then we're gonna move into the plugin. So that's for x64 debugger. So this is a plugin that is gonna be used with x64. So ERC debugger, ERC X debugger is a plugin for x64 debugger. And this plugin allows you, well, it gives you some scripts that will run and will interact with the debugger, and it will give you some assistance during the creation of your exploit. So basically, there are a set of scripts that will interact with the debugger, and then it will look for memory spaces, search stuff, look for stuff, and give you, for example, if you want to look for what type of protection it has, the binary that you have load, look for DLLs, look for SEH, SEH as the protection, is also over the protection, ASLR, but they are also, you can also assemble, disassemble part of the stuff that you give as an input, search on memory, as I mentioned. Well, this of course you can already do this with x64, but this is more in the lines of searching something when you are constructing, for example, search memory, when you're constructing a rob chain and you want to, by the way, rob chain stands for return-oriented programming. And when you want to construct a chain using some assembly opcodes that you have in mind, of you are looking for some particular opcodes, then you can use the search memory feature from ERC to look for that, and then you will get the memory addresses for that. Search modules, so same, but inside the modules, and so on and so on. The one CE, egg hunters, FindRP is your typical way of finding memory offsets for the memory. So we will use, of course, and then of course, Rob gadgets, Rob if you want to construct. So it has some cool stuff right there. Same as Mona, as I mentioned. So, but we will use ERC because I think it's more feature rich and it's fully compatible with x64. But in any case, Mona.p is from Corlan. It's quite awesome. It fully supports WinDBG as well. So what if you are really interested? So everything that I'm gonna tell you here in the lines of using ERC can be also applied to Mona. So both share the same features. Not only that, you will get to use WinDBG. That if you get more into Windows internals, WinDBG is one of the best debuggers. All right. Oh, well, it is the debugger for that. All right. So how do you install it? Well, you choose download the latest release from here, and then choose put it into the plugin folder. So once you get the release from here of ERC, then you have to navigate into the plugins folder of x64 debugger. First, you go to, well, properties, open file location. So this is where I have it installed. In this case, I have it installed here, but it depends where you have installed x64 debugger, of course. I have it installed here. This is the snapshot that I have. I think there are some newer releases. But then at the end of the day, you have to go into, in this case, it's going to be 32. Remember, you have to go to 64 and 32. And for all the exercises I'm going to do today, it's going to be on the 32 bits platform. So when you download the ERC plugin, you have to pick 32, right? And then when you go into here, into x64, you have to pick the x32 folder. All right. So here, x32, and then inside is the folder plugins. And inside there, you have to, so basically you unzip the content of ERC, and then you choose download, you choose copy and paste the content inside here, just like I have it here. So if you, in the future, if you want to use ERC plus x64 debugger, then you have to do you will have to do the same. And as you can see on my 64 bits of the 64 bits binaries of x64 debugger, I have nothing because I haven't downloaded the ERC plugin for that platform. All right. So I'm just remarking that otherwise it will not work. It will not load for you. All right, and I think that's it. And of course, you will need, if you want to follow along the part of exploit pack, then of course you need your exploit pack fully working. What we're gonna do there, I'm gonna show you how to import files from basically not files, but how to import exploits into exploit pack, and how the structure of an exploit works, plus the XML, plus the code, and how that process can be modified and imported into exploit pack using the import part of it. And let me check here, and these are the links for the two applications that we're gonna use. So one link is gonna be for Echat server. That's the first one, and the second one is gonna be for the R framework. That is basically an application for doing math. It's called R, but both applications for Windows, they have been compiled, statically compiled without protections, and both suffer from buffer overflows that can be later leveraged into structure exception handler type of exploits. And we're gonna cover both. Right after that, the one last tool that you're gonna need is Python. So Python 2.7 download, and then you can choose get it from the source to be here. And then of course we will need it for Windows, so you can choose click on Windows x86, MSAE installer, or 64, doesn't matter because it's a scripting language. So you can get any of both, and then install it on, you have to install that on your machine. Yeah. And then if you want, to make your life easier, you can use something like Notepad++, or you can use PyCharm. That's up to you. You can also use B. You can use anything you want. But I recommend you to have at least something if you are not savvy with Python. So it's not plus 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 or PyCharm. So that's up to you. Once you have that, then you can, if you create your Python file, you will see right click, you will have your edit with idle, or you can edit it with Notepad++, or put it in PyCharm, and there you go. And then you can start. All right. So before we start, while you guys are busy doing this, I'm gonna cover the basics of a binary and what are the structures of a binary. Just to do a recap. Let me mute myself and sip my coffee.